nice to meet you all. My name's Nervegna and I'm presenting our Judo House, which stands on the Wurundjeri land, and we pay respects to elders from all nations, past, present and emerging. So the site is a tight site in Richmond at 6 metres by 21, and the clients came to us and wanted to introduce the front door to the side street. So that was something we had to deal with.
And they kept having kids, so they kept needing more and more space in this very small site.
So Carly, the mother, is an ex-Olympiad in judo, and we spoke about judo mean the gentle way, and this became our kind of metaphor for the building of how we can create illusion of space when we're restricted in space, and that is in particular using steel. So the house looks at steel beyond the obvious in how do we create a sculptural stair out of Rio bar that encases the stair and runs through the 3 levels of the home, or 4 levels because there's a rooftop. Yeah. And how can we use the perforated metal screen as creating an illusion of openness and a spatial experience. So this notion of the pivot, which is kind of central to this plan, it's a very basic plan, but that pivot creates a courtyard which is to the side of the street. It creates a threshold and it gently pushes into the plan and the space bends around it. All the program responds to this pivot. We investigated the geometry for the screen to be circles within circles. How can we have something that is both open and closed? And how can that facilitate the house? So here's the screen in situ, and you can see the dappled light that changes throughout the seasons, and the new gate to the threshold courtyard from the side street. So this courtyard is open to the air. It is constricted, but it allows a kind of flowing from the street when needed and from the living room if desired.
It's very much sort of interstitial space, with as an entry.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of expand the boundary. This is the front door and the staircase which wraps around. Within the home, with the screen, we get this spatial experience, but also we get a clear view to the street and total access to the sunlight, which is not particular for a Victorian terrace house.
And it's really, the whole street becomes your living room in a way, but no one can see in.
Yeah, at the same time, this is the view from the street, so it's quite private. They're very much into privacy with this home. Here is the construction of the screened courtyard, and above is a children's play area, and there it is constructed. At night, the screen becomes a kind of picture box or a lit up screen which engages with the street, but if the clients wish to, they can draw curtains if required. Here's a diagram showing to the left bottom the screen. Also the screen to the top right is to the master bedroom.
And there's also just triangular cuts to the basement. So
yeah.
There's a number of triangular cuts to the form and the side that allow those extra screen spaces.
The subterranean courtyards are lit by web-forged balconies that allow light to go down to the judo classroom, and also ventilation and outlook. Here it is looking up from that courtyard.
And there's little floor windows in the ceiling above the judo space, so you can watch them practice judo underneath. Yeah,
so the spatial experience of this illusion of more space is connected through all of these ideas to make what was once a cottage seem much larger.
And we had to calculate the ceiling height so they could throw their kids over their shoulders. And that was the calculation that determined everything.
Upstairs we have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a play area centred around that circular stair, which I'll speak about in a moment. Here is the concept for the front screen, which is an aperture where the clients from their bedroom could have a focus of a view of to the north of a gum tree, or have privacy if required. There's the screen built and backlit. To the left is the ensuite with little porthole windows. The front of the residence. And within the bedroom, you can slide the screen if you want it open and close it if required. Here is the kitchen to the home and the children in the play nook next to the kitchen. But we were interested in this bending of space, which we've done in other plans before, with Marcel Duchamp's drawing for the pepper grinder for his brother, of how we could actually make space feel a bit elastic and fluid. And so here is our staircase in relationship to that entry courtyard, being pivoted into the space, and all the programs wrap around it. The stair with the concrete base in a different colour and felt ceiling to imply this sliding and fluid movement.
And to create zones without having to create walls.
Yeah. And
helps with that.
if required at night, you could even light up this stair so it becomes a lantern.
Yep.
Here's the construction of the stair, which was done on site with Rio bars.
So we'd done a stair like 10 years ago out of Rio bar. We'd done a sort of optical pattern just out of Rio bar, then big handrails out of Rio bar. And we really want to sort of revisit this, but in a circular manner. So we drew it, it all was according to code, but then we had to sort of work out the exact angles on site.
And this is Tom Petty, the builder. There is the final, and looking down into the living space. The children's play area, children's room, bathroom, ensuite.
And I suppose taking that Duchamp idea a bit further with the ready-made, we saw the Rio bar as a bit of a ready-made, like steel ready-made.
Yeah.
I thought this is just beautiful in itself.
And that's